Hey guys, welcome back to the Zen Den and welcome back to Tracy's Local Learnings. I am so glad you're here. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make a tincture. So I've been talking about all of these wonderful medicinals with you guys, and now where am I looking? Oh yeah, okay. And now I want to show you one of the things that I do when it comes to my medicinals and how I do it. So, if you guys are into making your own medicine and having these things available on your shelf, this is a great way to do it when it comes to first aid and all those different treatments that you want. So, remembering that alcohol does not go bad. Now, a couple of key things that you have to, or that I would like you to keep in mind always when making tinctures, you always use fresh plant matter. Now, do people use dry plant matter for tinctures? Absolutely. Do I? Absolutely not. I use fresh plant matter always for tinctures. And the reason is that when the alcohol is, okay, let's back up a bit. So the alcohol, 100 proof is the best. Now, when it comes to alcohol, I don't use ever anything higher than 100 proof. And the reason is because 100 proof alcohol is 50% water and 50% alcohol. So when it's extracting the properties out of your plant, it's taking both. So, do I use less? Yes, I use 80 proof alcohol, which is 40% alcohol and 60% water. So the difference is that when you're using an 80 proof alcohol, and typically everyone uses vodka just because there's no smell, you can really use whatever floats your boat. There's nothing better than getting a bottle of Crown Royal and sticking some cinnamon sticks in there because, you get all the benefits of it and the flavor, especially around Christmas time. Anyways, so when I'm doing my tinctures, I use 80 proof alcohol. And I'm going to show you what I do with the plants before I get started. So you come with me. Hold on here. Okay, so this is the echinacea flowers that I'm going to be, oops, there you go. These are the echinacea flowers that I'm going to be doing a tincture with. Again, this is going to be for cold and flu season. I totally forgot to take a picture of the echinacea before I cut them all down. But whatever, you guys know what they look like, I think. So what I do is I don't dry them, but I lay them out and kind of let them, kind of let them lose some of their water soluble properties, right? Same with the lemon balm that I have going here. And same with the goldenrod. So I am going to, hang on, sorry about my hand being in the way. I'm going to pop you guys back up here into my handy dandy little tripod. Okay, and now I'm going to show you. So a couple of things that's really important when you're doing anything with medicinals, whether it's you're making a tincture, you're making an oil infusion, you're making teas, like tea blends, you want to label them. I don't even have the right one. You want to label them. You want to make sure on your label it says what the plant is. Now I have a little book that I keep track of everything, so I just label it. And these labels I buy at the dollar store. I don't know if you can see them. There we go. I buy them at the dollar store and I get different colors. They come in red, green, blue, yellow, and I get them in different colors. So when I write down in my book that I did tinctures today, I know everything with a blue label, and then I will just put 25 on it to know the year. I will know that this is from my making tinctures today. Okay, so we're going to start, hang on here, I'm going to tip this down. Oh, wait, my book. Ooh! Are you guys okay? I'm sorry. Okay, let's lower this. Maybe that'll work. I'm going to get my book out of here. So another thing that's super important when you're doing anything with medicinals, oh, you guys are all at an angle, is to have everything clean. So ahead of time, I clean my jars, I sterilize them, my lids are done, everything's done, and that way we know that there's nothing else to contaminate my product in the jar. Okay, and then you need a pair of scissors, and you need the plant. So some people, when they make tinctures, they only use the flowers. I do not do that. I want to have a perfectly balanced tincture. So I use all parts of the plant. If they're medicinal, I'm using them. So in the instance of the echinacea, I'm using the leaves. I'll be using the stalks, and I'll be using the flowers. So hang on here. I'll let you see. And I'm not macerating it. I'm just cutting it up so that there's more surface area for the alcohol to extract from. Now, the flowers, I'm going to kind of try to cut them in half. There we go. So I just split it right up the middle, and that's good. Another thing to know when you're making tinctures is you really want to get a lot of plant matter into the jar. You want it to be right full, and then that's the same with the alcohol when we get to that part. Hang on here. So I have lots of leaves. Now I'm making smaller ones, and I'm going to tell you guys why. So these tinctures are going to be, well, like this one's going to be for cold and flu, right? To boost our immune system and whatnot. I have not done a video on echinacea, but I will. And now here's some of the stalks. Again, I'm just going to give them a quick cut because I want it to be a fully balanced tincture, right? So I will do that. Well, what was I just saying? Oh boy. Hang on here. I'm trying not to get distracted. So this is really all it is, right? You're just taking your plant and you're sticking it in the jar, and you really want to fill the jar. You want it to be nice and potent, so when you go to use it, you have some good properties in it. And that's the whole point of making tinctures is, you know, it's the same thing to have a cup of tea, but with a tincture, it's going to get to your system a lot faster, and it's a lot more condensed, so to speak, than a cup of tea. Not only that, when you're having a cup of tea, you're getting the water-soluble properties, but you're not getting the alcohol-soluble properties. So it's really important, I think, to have these things tinctured up and ready to go. So this one, I'm gonna do one that's not quite as open, just because I can. Oh, I have some different herbs getting mixed up there. So I hope you guys, you know, I don't know if you guys are into tinctures or if you understand them. Do your research on them. A lot of times you can go to health food stores and you can buy little bottles of echinacea tincture, and they cost like a lot depending on where you buy them, and they're prized on being organic plant matter, which is what I'm using. So all of these things we can do ourselves. Do you need a label? Do you need a title to say that you're a herbologist? No, as long as you do your research, have a clear understanding of why you would use this tincture, what benefits it would have to you, and you follow all the guidelines of making sure that everything's clean, using the right amount of plant matter in your jar, and using the right amount of alcohol and the type of alcohol. I mean, there's nothing stopping anyone from doing it. Now, the difference is when you're using 100 proof alcohol, because it's 50-50, you're going to let that sit in a cool, dark place for 6 to 8 weeks. Now, because I'm using an alcohol that is 80 proof, I will let this sit probably closer to 12 weeks. I'm going to get one more big, beautiful flower in here if it fits. Again, you really want to take the time to cut it up a little bit so that there's more surface area, and make sure your jar is full. So I still have some room here. I'm going to keep putting some leaves in. Okay, so now we have the echinacea in the jar, okay? It's ready to go. And now this is the hard part. You take your vodka, you open it up, and you pour it. Now I'm going to set this down because hang on here. You really want to pour it right to the very, very tippy top. Okay, see that? That is full. Is the lid gonna go on? Okay, so, ooh, oh, I gotta get a different lid. Okay, so now you put your lid on nice and tight, and you want to try to let some of the air out. As the air leaves, it'll give you more space to add alcohol. You don't want any air at the top. You want it to be really, really full because the air will cause it to oxidize. Now, with tinctures, typically oxidizing looks like, well, the plant matter turns brownish, right? But that's going to happen anyways as it extracts. So don't be worried about that, but you do want to get it nice and full. Right to the tippy top. Okay. And then we're going to put that lid back on. So now I have my echinacea tincture. So I'm going to show you guys a couple more because this is really how easy it is. And now you're going to have something on your shelf. So if you start feeling sick or you think you got a tickle in your throat or whatever, you hit this, right? Okay, so that one's done. Next, I'm going to do my lemon balm. Okay, so same thing. Clean jar, label it, and then get your product going. Hang on here. Again, I let it sit for a bit, not only to lose a little bit of its water, like its moistness, but I give the bugs a chance to climb off. I let them sit outside for probably, I don't know, a half an hour in a basket, and then I just keep kind of banging the basket, and the bugs don't want any of it. They just want to go. Oh, if you guys could smell this lemon balm. Oops, I wasn't showing you, my bad. Okay, so here we go. We have some more lemon balm, and I'm just cutting it inside the jar, right? A couple inches every cut. You just want a lot of surface area. And when you're doing tinctures, you also want to be really mindful to go, like after I harvest my lemon balm, when I'm doing a tincture, I go through every branch and make sure there's no other weeds or any other plants mixed up amongst it. You don't want to, not know and put something in there that shouldn't be in there. And then, oops, again, I usually do much, much bigger jars. I usually do the quart or like this size of my tinctures. But, oh, and I was saying this earlier and I forgot. A lot of these tinctures are going to be used for making soaps and bath bombs and stuff like that. So I happen to have, I'm doing smaller jars for that because when you're doing soaps and stuff, it's like an ounce. It takes an ounce for a whole batch of soap. And we know lemon balm, if you guys have seen my video, is very, very relaxing and calming. So this isn't, I kind of packed it in a bit too much. But here we go. We have a full jar of lemon balm. And now we take our vodka and we fill it up to the tippy top. Okay. We put our lid on nice and tight. Try to knock out some of the air bubbles. And then this one didn't lose any because I didn't really pack this one as tight. But there we go. So now I have my lemon balm tincture. And if you've seen the video, this is like anxiety, depression, anything to do with your mood, your mental health. It's a great one to have. Okay, so what's next here? I have to do my goldenrod. So now I'm doing this one specifically for allergies. I just put out a video on goldenrod. Actually, it'll come out tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know when this one's going to come out, so it might be yesterday. So let me get at my goldenrod here. And here's what goldenrod looks like. Now this is the bomb when it comes to helping with allergies, especially if you have like pet allergies. So you're allergic to dogs and cats, and you know, you have to have one. So here we go. Let's do this. Again, same thing. We're going to take our plant. I did make sure there was no bugs on these. We're going to put it in the jar, and we're just going to cut it up a little bit so there's more surface area, right? And I use the whole plant. I use the leaves, the sticks or stems, and the flowers because I want a balanced tincture, right? I don't want more properties of one part than the other. I want it to be balanced. I want it to be complete. So that's something else, you know. And yes, some people just use the flowers and it's for aesthetics, but really it's all going to turn brown in the end. So I don't know. I would rather have all the properties out of it. You know, obviously there's different properties in the leaves and then the flowers, then the stems. I mean, right? As it's growing, different things get sent to different parts of the plant. So, as we're talking about tinctures here, some people say, oh, use overproof grain alcohol. You know, I'm going to tell you that that's, in my opinion, is very dangerous. And I'll tell you why. So when you use high proof grain alcohol, you can't take that. You can't just take a tincture of that. You have to, first of all, do a bunch of math and make sure that you're adding enough water to make it safe for human consumption. So why bother? Okay, so some people say, well, it's cheaper. You can get more alcohol for less money when you buy the overproof. Technically, that's true. Can you water it down to make it less? Yeah, but I'd rather not take a chance. You know, I just buy the 40 proof from the store, and I leave it a little bit longer to do its business. And yeah, so now what else will this tincture be good for? Well, you got to watch the video on goldenrod to find out all the properties of what this will be good for. I don't like to give too much information without people learning because, you know, it's like having the belief, I don't know, that Honda's the best car. But not everybody's going to believe Honda's the best car unless you go and learn to make your own opinion. So it's the same with anything. If you want to learn, once you understand the different properties in it, then you can form your own opinion. And that's why I'm always going to consistently say research, research, research. You know, like Solidago, which is this plant that I'm dealing with, goldenrod. There's like, I think 70 species are all over the world. So they might be slightly different in your region than they are in my region. So it's important, again, that you, excuse me, do your research. Okay, goldenrod. Look how easy this is, you guys. Oh, I got to take the cap off. So now we're going to have another wonderful tincture on the shelf. And fill it to the tippy top. Give it a good shake. Knock those bubbles around. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit more alcohol to this, just to get it good and full. And then we're going to put the lid on it, and we're going to set it aside. So I have several more tinctures that I'm going to be doing today, but I think you guys get the gist of it. Now, different tinctures, what would you use different tinctures for? I mean, allergies, you know. Now, once this goldenrod tincture is done, it'll go into a brown bottle, and somebody, when they start to feel the irritation of allergies coming on, they're just going to take a couple drops in a glass of water or under your tongue, it'll go through your system quicker under your tongue, but it's drops, not shots. It's very important that you don't take too much of a tincture, and you can break it up throughout the day. So like the echinacea tincture for cold and flus, this is something that I would take probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 drops in the morning and in the afternoon and in the evening for probably, I don't know, a stretch of 5 or 6, maybe even 7 days, and then stop. You don't want to be taking any of these things on an ongoing basis. And if you are, you want to use less of it as you feel the whatever it is you're trying to combat being alleviated. You want to kind of slowly cut back. It's going to take, it's not like the allergy medicine you get from the store. So it's not going to work just like that because it's not synthetic. It's not a Band-Aid. It's actually going in, it's bioavailable, and it's helping your body adjust to it and make it less of a pain in the butt, right? So thank you so much for watching this video on making tinctures. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys make tinctures or if you have any questions or comments on different tinctures that you might be interested in. I make a lot of tinctures. I will also be doing some oil infusions coming up in the near future. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you watched this far into the video, what could you do? Maybe put a little drink emoji in the comment section for me. A cocktail, perhaps. And that's it. I thank you so much for coming up on my channel, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.